Hey there, YouTube. This is SJM4306. Today we are reviewing a silver bag. No, I'm just kidding. I was contacted by Alice. She works at a company that's producing a new pair of true wireless earbuds, and I'm looking at the documentation for it right now. It's the brand is Serena. I've never heard of them before, but what caught my eye, well, I guess what caught my ear, was they claimed that their earbuds, they're active noise canceling, that they're capable of blocking out, I think it was like 46 decibels or something crazy. Now, that number might not seem like anything to you, it might not mean anything to you. Most of the earbuds that I've reviewed in the past, usually the range for like sound blocking for active noise canceling is in the range of like 20 to 30. So this is significantly higher, so it's supposedly. We are going to test exactly that. And this is actually so new that they don't even have the commercial packaging ready yet. So they literally just sent me just the earbuds and the case themselves. Now these retail for 150, but because it's like a pre-order sort of situation, you can currently get them for over 50% off at 69 bucks. I'll have a link down below if you are interested. And yeah, these look actually really interesting. Just some quick specs to rattle off because I don't have a box to read. Because this is sort of, I guess this would be like an engineering sample or like a pre-production sample, something like that. Not sure exactly, but yeah, these supposedly have 7 hours of runtime just on the earbuds. If you count the charging case, 60 plus hours. That is insane. If it could hit that, I will be very happy. Never need to plug these in practically then. Yeah, and it's minus 45 decibels is specifically what they rate at the 50 hertz to 200 hertz range, and then minus 55 decibel maximum attenuation at the 150 hertz point. So yeah, that's the way generally these things work. They're good at blocking out low frequency noise. It's really difficult to block out high frequency noise. Anyway, yeah, support specifically SBC and AAC. Those are two most standard uh, Bluetooth transmission audio codecs. So nothing fancy. I would have liked to see like aptX or what's Sony's LDAC, I think it is. But yeah, I mean SBC and AAC will pretty much get you compatibility with everything anyways. So yeah, and here we are. It is in a little Jiffy bag. Like I said, this is so new that it's not even out yet. And they had notified me that they had a engineer test this all out, so I'm guessing this is like fresh off of the production line. Yeah, we can see it comes with some extra ear tips. We have what appears to be small and medium, so I'm guessing the larger on here. And let's see. Oh, it has a sliding mechanism. Yes, that is super satisfying. So first things first, they said that you get like 60 hours plus runtime. That's at the cost of pocketability. Clearly, I mean, look at the size of the case. I think I can forgive that for something that can give me like over 60 hours of runtime without having to plug this into charge. I think I could forgive that. Case itself is really nicely made. Like super. I mean, I could probably run a car over it. So I can't, there's no flex in the plastic at all, and the slide mechanism is really nice. This is gonna be my new fidget toy. It's really nice. This is actually the first one of these cases I've had that slides open like this. Usually they just open like a hinge. See the sliding mechanism there, that's really interesting. Little grooves in there. Now let's see what it says. 5 volts at 500 milliamps. Battery is 800 milliamp hours. That's interesting. And it says Acuity Serena model AC. Oh, sorry about that. AC08, I believe that is. TWS charging case. Beautiful. Very well made. So far, this is ticking all the boxes. We have the earbuds themselves. There is like an indentation, so easy to grab. Oh, yeah. Very easy to grab in and out. As each pair of earbuds have 4 contacts. That's interesting. Technically, you only need 2, so I wonder if it's doubling up. But yeah, they have a very interesting sort of shield-like shape. And we'll just pull one out here. Yeah. Sort of conforming to the shape of your ear. If I get a focus right on there. Yeah, these are actually decently small for like 7-hour runtime earbuds. If they do hit that usage range, that's actually kind of impressive just by how small they are. So they should be pretty efficient, hopefully. That 7 hours is undoubtedly with the ANC off, though. We have a little indicator LED, what appears to be a mic hole for sensing like audio from the outside. And usually they'll have another one inside or somewhere on the back side, like a second mic to sense the sound inside your ear canal, sort of thing going on there. Yeah, gold contacts. It's actually really nice, like speckled gray plastic. Looks very nice. Let's see how they fit in my ear. So, just from a first test, decently comfortable. The ear pad on this might actually be a bit too large. I might have to go to the smaller size for my ear. It's a little bit. I like earbuds, just not quite as tight as this, but yeah, probably honestly the larger sizes will do a better job at noise canceling. But I'm actually going to test this out with these ear pads on, and then test noise canceling capability, and then I'll switch to the other sizes that are available, just to make sure I can test to see what gives me the best fit, best comfort, and best noise canceling. But yeah, so I'm actually going to use these because surprise, surprise, I can't give you any kind of analysis just by looking at these at how well these work. So I'm going to use these for at least 2 weeks. I'll be back in a second. It'll be 2 weeks for me and a second for you guys. Okay, so I've taken these to work for the past 2 weeks, and by the way, I don't think I mentioned it. It actually has a label on the top that says Acuity Serena. So not sure if Acuity is a company name, or I think Serena is the brand name of these buds. But anyway, and my findings are these are a very interesting pair of earbuds. So the approach that they take to active noise canceling is notably different than other pair of earbuds that I've worn before. So my current favorite pair of active noise canceling earbuds is probably the Super EQ 2 Pros that I have. When I turn the active noise canceling on those, a lot of the environmental sound just drowns out. It just, you can hear the noise floor drop on that. But there are two weaknesses to that pair. One is you'll hear kind of like a snow static that comes up along with the active noise cancellation. So it drowns out the sound, but it's by no means like a low noise floor. So you'll always end up hearing kind of like a hissing sound, a subtle, kind of not so quiet hissing sound in the background. Additionally, while that does have active like pass through so that you can still hear your environment, it's not so natural sounding. Let me put it that way. These guys sort of have the opposite in terms of their approach of noise canceling. Now, they are pretty effective, but only against certain frequencies. And I've noticed in their documentation, they say that these are like they'll cancel out so many decibels, but they'll give like a frequency range. I think it was like a couple hundred hertz they said it was tested at. And I definitely noticed that anything higher frequency, like above the 1 kilohertz range, and it didn't really do much to cancel those noises. I could still definitely hear them. And I ended up putting the largest earbud pads on there just to make sure I gave it the best chance of sealing against my ear. And so these, they actually have kind of three levels of ANC. So the first one is active noise level 1, which I believe is like 28 decibels. And that's between that and no noise cancellation, you'll notice absolutely the most difference. It will significantly drop low frequencies. And between that, if you triple click any of the earbuds to increase in noise canceling, it'll go to like ANC level 2, and that's supposed to be 40 decibels. Between the level 1 and the level 2 ANC, there's not a significant difference. Definitely there is a difference you can hear, but it's pretty subtle in comparison between just turning ANC off completely and turning it on to level 1. And so the interesting thing that I found about these is that like the usual active noise canceling kind of white noise that you hear when you turn on most systems. This doesn't have that. When you turn on ANC, you don't get any increased noise floor. It's really interesting. It's very subtle. Everything just sounds slightly quieter, but you don't hear like that hissing sound. So I don't know what they're doing, but they definitely did something in terms of like the math or the way that it actually implements the ANC. So that's very interesting. I like that actually. The only way you can really know that the ANC is on is just that it happens to sound quieter, and there's no like hissy sound or anything like that weird going on. But I did notice the higher you go on the ANC, the less bass you get. So I'm guessing it's using some of that bandwidth to like cancel the noise. And it's not like a major drop off in bass. It's just you definitely notice it. But when ANC is on like full on level 2, you'll notice it has like just the bass is a little less crisper, just less prevalent. It doesn't seem to touch any of the like the mid range or the high frequencies. Those are still at the normal level and they still sound great. It's just the bass tapers off a little bit earlier when you hit the higher ANC levels. Now the pass through mode, the mode where you can still kind of hear what's going on outside, is actually a lot more natural on these than other pairs that I've used. When you turn that on, it sort of just sounds like you have a slightly muffled version of you just not having the earbuds in your ears at all. You can definitely hold a conversation in these if someone's like right near you. You can hear just the outside world. It's a lot more natural. I prefer the method of pass through mode or whatever you want to call it on these over other pairs that I've used. So in general, for the sound quality, these sound pretty good. They're a lot more balanced than most other pairs of earbuds I've tested. Uh, Even with the ANC completely off to give you the best bass, it's definitely a lot tighter and more constrained than I'm used to. So I kind of have the feeling that I need to turn up EQ up bass a little bit. I tend to like heavier bass, but definitely I can see for like mainstream kind of stuff, this should have enough bass for like most people, unless if you're a bass head like me, then you might want to EQ that up just a little bit, and especially if you're using the noise canceling modes, you might want to turn that up quite a bit to compensate for the drop off that you're getting from turning on ANC. But it's very pleasant sounding and not very harsh because it's not like so boomy in terms of the bass. I can pretty comfortably listen to this at like moderate volume levels, whereas some other earbuds might sort of tire my ears out after that. The next important thing I think is actually comfort. So I've tried actually all the earbud pads, and even the large doesn't feel super large. I was expecting it to be kind of uncomfortable, but these actually seal the best in my ears. So they'll take out kind of a lot of the brunt of environmental noise without even having to resort to ANC. So for the most part, I actually prefer kind of listening to these without ANC on, or possibly in like pass-through mode, just so I can hear what's going on around me. Because yeah, these large tips, they go right into my ears and they actually seal right against the edges. So they do a pretty good job at that. These are actually pretty comfortable shape as well, the way that they're contoured and they stick in a little bit. And the only thing that I've noticed I'm not too crazy about is the touch sensing sometimes doesn't take. For instance, trying to switch between different ANC modes by triple tapping, sometimes I'll get off to the side, or like it's really hard to like press directly in the center of a small bud that's in your ear that you can't see. So a lot of times I'll kind of have to try a couple times to do some of the more button clicky moves on here. For instance, play pause is I think a double tap. A single tap on the left or right will increase or decrease volume. I love that they have that implemented on these. I think triple tap does the ANC toggling. And I believe pressing and holding for like 2 seconds will track forward and track back depending on whether you do it on the left or the right bud. So it does things a little bit different than most buds, and that took me a little bit of while to get used to because I would accidentally trigger the wrong function. And it's interesting, they have like sort of a shield shape, so it's not perfectly flat. So when I'm coming in here to press the button, sometimes I'll accidentally be, I guess, too far off to one side and it won't trigger reliably. So that could either be a software thing or a hardware thing. Not really sure. Um, but yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to, definitely, in order to figure out and remember what combination of button presses does what. It's a little bit obtuse, but if this is your only pair of earbuds, you'll remember it real quick and it'll become muscle memory. I have the problem, I have too many earbuds, and so all of them use different press combinations for different functions. So that sort of gets really confusing for me. But if this is like your only pair of true wireless earbuds, it's not a problem. They're not that complex to remember. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. Runtime. Okay, let's talk about two things: runtime and Bluetooth range. Bluetooth range is an interesting one. It seems to like stay connected kind of longer than I'd expect. But if you do get some sort of like interruption in the music, it has a weird sound to it. It sounds sort of like an electronic pair of bagpipes is the best I could explain it. You'll hear like weird distortion in the audio when it starts like dropping too many samples, and it'll get very like quantized. I don't know how to explain it better than that, but it's definitely a unique sound. Usually when Bluetooth cuts off, it just drops completely, or you'll just get silence during that. On these pair, I don't know if it's the way they're using the codec or if it's a Bluetooth 5 thing, or I don't know. But yeah, you get like weird hiccups in the audio, and you'll definitely notice it. And at first, you'll think like it sort of reminds me of like if a CD skips back in like the 90s when you listen to like your Discman, and you hit a bump on the bus or something, and it skips, and it like the audio will definitely sound noticeably weird during that like half a second pause. It'll usually catch itself pretty fast. I've noticed this more on my laptop for some reason. On my phone and tablet, it rarely does that. So maybe it's something having to do with the way that my laptop is transmitting Bluetooth or something. But yeah, I've never really had that, now that I think about it, happen on my phone. So definitely might have something to do with my laptop Bluetooth. But yeah, just so that you know, especially when you get towards the range of the Bluetooth transmission, so somewhere around like 25 or 30 feet, when you're starting to get towards just the end, it'll start doing that more and more, cutting out and like giving you weird kind of electronic bagpipey sounds. uh, yeah, in terms of battery life, I wore these for pretty decent amounts of times, probably like close to like 3-ish hours before the inside of my ears start getting like a little itchy and like damp, for a better word, or moist, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Because these seal really well into your ears. You gotta let them like air out every once in a while, otherwise your ear kind of starts feeling a little bit yucky. So I'll usually, around like the 3-hour mark, I'll usually take these out, plop them in the case, and let them charge up while I give my ears a little bit of a breather. And yeah, so because of that, I never actually ran these down. I believe these are rated, they said, to like 7-ish hours. And I think that's with ANC off. The few tests I've done, like up to about 3 or 4 hours, I've had, the highest level of ANC on the whole time. And I've not been able to hit the battery life of the buds themselves. So I was never able to actually drain them fully. And the charging case, interestingly enough, I pretty much got like a solid week out of charging these. Fully charged case, just use them as normal and plop them down in the case when I'm not using them, but don't plug the case into charge. And it gave me about a full solid week of using them for like a good number of hours, probably close to like 6 hours a day. For a full work week, and I had at least one notch left on the 4-notch battery meter, so I probably could have gone even a little bit longer than that. But these definitely are troopers in terms of, you fully charge up this case. If you let the buds charge up as well and get as much juice in them as possible, this is definitely a 1-week pair of earbuds. And then maybe by week's end, then you'll have to actually plug them into charge. But yeah, absolutely fantastic on battery life. If you just don't like charging things, these are definitely up your alley. One thing that I will say I'm a little bit not worried about, but this hinge, it feels like it's plastic on plastic. You can kind of hear rubbing if you press down on it while you open it. I could imagine if you play with this a lot, you'd wear down the bushings or the bearings or whatever they're using to slide on here. So yeah, the mechanism is sufficient, but I don't know how long. After a while, I'm guessing if you keep playing with this, you'll start wearing the plastic out and it won't slide so smoothly. So that's maybe a concern. Maybe they might want to maybe put some kind of like a slippery plastic in there for like the actual mating surfaces, or maybe like a metal bearing or something like that. I don't know how this exactly is put together, but yeah, that could potentially be an issue long term if this stops, clicking when it slides and it gets stuck. That's kind of only my concern. This is a chunky case, I will say. It'll fit in my pocket, but it's definitely awkwardly noticeable in your pocket. So yeah, these earbuds I'm going to relegate to my backpack because it's just too awkward to have in my pocket, especially if I have like a wallet or keys or something else in the pocket with them. They just they're too thick. But I guess that's the price to pay to get that really good, like solid 1 week of heavy use battery life. They had to fit the battery in here somehow, so I'm guessing that's sort of the sacrifice that they chose. One thing I did notice, you might have seen it if I just start these charging. Take them out. Come on. Huh. Give me 1 sec. Why is the charging light's not coming on? Don't know if that's a bug. The lights aren't coming on. Even when I take the buds out, put them back in. I have to actually plug it in for them to come on. So I wonder if there's a bug in here, but you might notice 2 of the LEDs are just a different color shade. I know this is a pre-production, I think it's a pre-production unit. It definitely doesn't have the retail packaging, so that could be why. Maybe there's some component variants, but you can see these look definitely like greener than these two. So I thought that was a little odd, and definitely a little odd that these wouldn't come on. Yeah, that's sort of one thing that I think is slightly annoying about the use case of this. It's inconsistent when these lights on the front come on. These are charging right now. You would figure it would show you the remaining battery life, and most other times it does, but this time I can't get them to turn on unless if I plug it in, which is really weird. So there might be a software or hardware issue that they might want to look at with the charging case. The way I think it should work is there should be a sensor so that when you open or close the lid, it'll turn the lights on so that you can manually force it to tell you how much battery is remaining. That's not a good thing that you have to plug it in for it to tell you what the remaining battery life is. That's sort of a little bit weird. I wonder if it's something that just a full charge will fix. Because yeah, usually you just drop the buds in and then it'll tell you. It's not coming on now though. Like I said, I don't think these are even technically on the market yet. There's like a pre-order on their website that you can hit up and you can get like more than 50% off if you order them right now. So definitely, if you are interested in looking for a new pair of earbuds and you want something that that handles ANC in a very interesting way, in my opinion, and they have a very nice balanced sound quality to them. So definitely check these guys out. Links will be down below, and yeah, once again, huge thanks to Acuity Serena for sending these guys in for a review. But yeah, anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.